Come join in on the fun and grab your glue gun. It's the Preppy Crafty Girl Show. Welcome to the Preppy Crafty Girl Show.
Hey everyone, happy December and happy dephemerember. I think that's how you say it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I am doing a swap. We are a little bit late. Both of us just moved into our houses and I don't know why we decided to do this, but we didn't want to miss it. And so anyway, we haven't done our swap yet, so I'm getting ready to pack mine up, and I thought I'd do just a quick show of the journal that I made my friend Yvette. I'm super excited. Don't mind my hands. I just finished dyeing the ribbon that I tied it up with. And yeah, so let's get going. I did a hand dye of this Heidi Swap ribbon I've had for a really long time, her crinkle ribbon. And I just dyed it with some Lindy's spray, and I also had some Tim Holtz in the hickory smoke because she kind of wanted a pink, yeah, like shabby chic kind of, I don't even know. It just kind of morphed and took on a life of its own. And but anyway, she loves pink, and so I went with the pink. And I had an old key, so I attached that little rusty key. And oh, I rented the two movies, Looking Glass and the Alice in Wonderland, the Johnny Depp ones, because she said that's the ones that she liked. And so she didn't want cutesy, she wanted a little more grungy kind of. And I am not grunge. You know me, I am a 60s, 70s girl. I love the 60s and 70s. And so this was quite a challenge for me. And I started out videotaping my process. And then yeah, I just kind of stopped because I was just hit or miss working on it. But anyway, so let me show you what I got. In the second video, there was this like bluish drink that she had to drink, so I put that bluish drink in here, and then I have a little teeny tag that I hand dyed. It says drink me, and then I have of course the key. And what I did for my binding was I put the key, whatever that's called, what is this called, plate, the doorknob plate on the back, and then I glued it on, and then I ran my silk ribbon through the hole, and then I brought it underneath and glued it under here, the front part, and that's what that's hooked on to. I did some collaging to the front. I had this book, it was a book plate, and I ended up recovering it with some mirror-like-esque type paper, scrapbook paper I had, with some stickles to fill in the edge, the more glam she loves it, I guess, I'm hoping. I put some vintage buttons and a newer I think that was a newer button, and then some trim that I got off of a skirt a long time ago. This is Tim Holtz clock. And then I layered some doilies and laces and some of this rose stuff. And then on here I did some of that lace. And so this is kind of peachy, pinky gray. And then I had this doily that had a bunny rabbit on it. So there was just this random little crocheted, I don't even call it a doily. This is how big it was. I don't know what it was for. I had found it, I don't even know where, and so probably at an estate sale in a bundle or something like that. But anyway, I was super excited to find that in my stash, so I used the rabbit on the binding. And then she wanted me to sign it, so I put a little patch on the back and put my name and then the date 2024. And the cover is done in what Luise did. I layered up some avocado. First I avocado dyed some fabric that I had, and then I there's like 3 layers of the fabric, and then so I knew that I got to the end fabric before I got to that last fabric so I wouldn't cut through it, I did a layer of lace. So the whole thing was the fabric, then the lace, and then 3 layers of more of the avocado dyed fabric. Now, I did do videos of some of this, so I'll go back and upload them sometime. I don't have time right now, but eventually they'll end up on my channel. So keep an eye out for that. I put a grommet at the top, an eyelet, and then I used the Tim Holtz attacher at the top and made some charms that had to do with Alice in Wonderland. So there's like a clock, there's clocks, the key. I had a hat out of the Monopoly game, and then I had a teapot and a little like clock hand. And then I had like an advertisement that came in a DVD that I had, and it had these images of the characters from Alice in Wonderland. So I just punched them out and I put them on the charm. So that one has her, and then there's Alice on the A, and then the Queen, and I just did some glossy accents over it. And then I left her some space in case she wanted to put her own charms on. There's some places for her to put her own charms on. So that, and then I made this a long time ago at CHA at the Tim Holtz booth, and we made necklaces, and this one had shine on it. So it's a little nod to Barbara's thing, the book that she made for Luise. And so I had found this, it already said shine, and I took it off the necklace, and so that's going on her journal. Okay, then on the edge, I had this tatting, and it's just so beautiful. And so I ended up dyeing it. This was hickory smoke. This is hickory smoke on here. And so I just glued that in between the front cover and the inside. On the inside, I used the Tim Holtz clock fabric. I stitched in a little pen holder, but I found this vintage pencil in my stash of the Spade. So I thought that was super cute, and I just slid it in there. And then I had this vintage, it's a party invitation, and I thought this was so cute. So I just put that on a paper clip on the pocket. Now, this took a little bit of planning because I knew I wanted to do pockets on the inside, which meant before I could put this in and before I could attach it to the front, I had to stitch the pockets on the inside cover. This was the cover of the DVD, so I just printed that out. And of course, you know, this isn't going to be sold, it's a gift, so I could do that. And then I had a piece of airmail, and I just used my typewriter, and I put Dear Alice on it so that she can write her own letter to Alice. This is antique wallpaper, so each page is coordinated antique wallpaper on the covers of 3 signatures. So I did 3 signatures. Ooh, I'll have to pick that up later. 3 signatures. I made my own tape, and from that Dollar Tree tape, I've got a video on my channel that shows you how to make your own from the Dollar Tree tape. Then I had this, this was from a Paula Cheney class I had taken years ago, and I had it, and it said free to fly, so I thought that was cute. I put that on there, and this is a old current 1989 recipe card, but it had hearts on it, and I thought that'd be super cute. This is a oh, this came out of, okay, wait a minute. This came out of this pocket on this page. This is a pocket. Sorry, I just saw that. Okay. I clipped in an old divider that had an A on it. I had this 1976 Alice Adventures Through the Looking Glass. It was kind of an odd story, and but anyway, I added it to it for the color, because everything was so non-colorful. Because I had a repo of the old book, and then I have an actual old book pages in here from the actual Alice in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass. So anyway, I made a pocket out of that one. Then I stenciled on here. And this is some vintage paper. Everything in here is pretty much vintage or thrifted paper. I put, of course, a little English breakfast tea. This is a little pocket I made out of a little sack. And I used the words from the book pages and I did little like sayings. So it says the Hatter began to explain, and then it just has a little mushroom card in there. And I clipped this on, and this is the Johnny Depp Mad Hatter. I made a little charm out of him because he was on that piece of ephemera that I had found. I don't know who made this, but I thought this was perfect. It's blackish, grayish, floral. Oh, and this was a coloring book that I got in Australia at a thrift store, and I just thought it was perfect because it's mushrooms, got the little door, and you know, she wants to color it, she can. If not, it's okay. I had this vintage Alice in Wonderland postcard from, I think it was like from the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, 70s or 80s, which I think is really funny because every single one of these cards is 10/6, and then one of the movies I watched is 10/7, so I don't know what it actually is, but I tucked that in there. And then some treats, but I loved it because it had the checkerboard, you know, because of the checkerboard. This is moths and caterpillars, and so, you know, the whole Absalon thing. And then okay, so we both moved, so I took up, this was on one of my boxes, my moving boxes, so I pulled this off, but I thought it was perfect because it says extra small, and Alice shrunk, remember, extra small. And then I tucked in, I made her a little tag, and I have this huge stamp. It's a vintage stamp, a surveillance stamp. Anyway, so I stamped that on the back, and this is packaging from a Tim Holtz Distress or something like that. Piano roll paper back there that I decoupaged. I stuck a little sack in here of some of these, I stamped some vintage stamps that I have. So this is actually, which I thought was kind of cool because it's December 25th. 1949. So these are two separate stamps that are metal and they roll. It's really interesting. But anyway, so I did a couple of those. Here's file, here's paid, and then there's this one, please send a blank, free wallet cards to whatever. So I thought those would be kind of fun for her to use as ephemera. And just because this is December, I thought I would put that on there. Okay, this is a book page. It folds out, so nothing really there. I made this, again, this is actually 7 Gypsies clip, and I put the Cheshire Cat in here from the movie, and this was that piece of ephemera, so I just cut it and put him in there. And then this was an old Heidi Swap flip, and I just thought it was perfect. She can do whatever she wants to it. And I just put it on, I glued the back onto here, and yeah, so anyway, I thought that would give her a lot of room. It's fun. She loves interactive, she said, so I thought that would be kind of fun for her. Tuck it in there. Get in there. Okay. This is some antique lace up there. And I have lots of ledger and all kinds of stuff that I've collected. This like ink, and then this is some of that dot matrix paper from, it's actually from Memphis. And then map, and then this is the inside. So I did pockets. There's pocket divider in the middle, and I just filled it with vintage ephemera that she can use throughout her book. I thought this was funny because it had tea, so I circled it, because you know Alice is all about tea parties. I put the pig in upside down because the Queen of Hearts used to put her, she'd call for the pig, and then she'd put her feet up on it and use it like an ottoman. This is an altered clip I made, and then it's a tab, and then I hung a key on it, and I put a piece of the book page that had the caterpillar. It says, "Who are you?" said the caterpillar. So that's kind of like a famous saying out of that book or out of the movie. Anyway, so that is a altered paperclip tab that I did. oh yeah, it's double-sided. I forgot I put Alice, and then here's another one. And then here's Alice and the Rabbit. That's the original book page out of that old book that I had. It was out of a Junior Classics. Again, the treat, the other side of the page, treats. I made she was talking about snippet rolls, so I made her snippet roll and used it as a belly band, and I put all kinds of like, there's a rabbit, there's the 7, because 7 over 10 or 10 over 7 was the number, the Queen, the Hatter, Abbey Road. I had some ephemera from London, and I added that, a little bit of Rick Rack. I've added a little tape measure, and mushrooms and that. And then here is a recipe card. This is out of an old autograph book, and it is old. It's from 1887. And then I inked a tag and stitched a piece of scrapbook paper to it and put some cards in here for journaling or altering, whatever she wants to do. And then I tuck this into the belly band. This is some old Seven Gypsies paper, but I got it because it was London and had the butterflies. And then that's the back side of that coloring book. This is a ledger. This is a little file folder I die cut and dyed. And then this, that's that white side of that paper. I altered another paper clip because I couldn't just stick plain paper clips in here. I felt like, you know, so I went ahead and altered it, and she could take an idea. But this is from a yearbook, and I put 12 for December, and then Be You Bravely, and then this is out of a Disney. I did add a little bit of color, sorry, Yvette. And but this is the Mad Hatter's Unbirthday Cake, and it shows you how to make them. It has a recipe, super cute. And that's the other page out of that book. And she's got cats and dogs. She does animal rescues, so I thought that was kind of cute, the cat. I made this as a cabinet card and a Tim Holtz people and some other ephemera, and then that grit paste, and I put this on the front of this page. This page also has that antique wallpaper, and then I made a tag and I stuck that in there, and that's a vintage drive-in movie, because, you know, Alice in Wonderland's a movie, so I put in a drive-in movie ticket. And then there's a heart for the Queen of Hearts. A lot of symbolism in this one. And then I did the pink girls. Of course I have to add a pattern paper. This is a nod to like me. So I put the pink and green pattern paper in here. This is actually the pattern pocket, and then I used another cinema ticket, movie ticket, and then I made this a little pad of paper with vintage onion skin and mimeograph and lined and numbers, so that she can tear it up and use it, or just whatever, leave it like it is. This is dyed paper I did using inkjet dye, and when you're done with your cartridges, you can use the dye that's in the cartridge to dye fabrics and stuff. So that's what I did. How come that's not going on there? Oops. And I think I have a video with that. I'm not sure. Maybe I do. This is some old die cuts with a view tea paper. So I coffee dyed it. It's kind of whatever, a coffee dyed tea paper, but teacup paper. So yeah, because the backside was white and boring. This is a vintage linen, and then in the vintage linen I tucked a vintage little seed packet that she could use, and then I did Who Stole the Tarts, because that's a famous line out of the movie, and the rabbit. And then I made this little booklet out of the pattern. And so I stitched layers of it together, made a little trifold, and then she can alter that. That'll be something she can alter. This is an antique ledger. I found this Alice in Wonderland coming through the looking glass in an old magazine that was used in a carpet ad, which I thought was kind of cool. And then look at her, she's so glamorous. And then this is from the original book. I just put in a Queen of Hearts, of course, that she could alter. I have a 7 clip, and then I did a little, she's from New York, so I did a little nod to her. Plus I put in like measure, there's a coin thing, but I have New York, and then some vintage playing cards, New York and the Bronx Zoo. So I thought she'd get a kick out of those. And this is a book plate that you can stick down. And I know I have Alice in Wonderland ones, but I could not find them, so I'll have to send it to her later. This is a tag that came out from IKEA, and it had they used to sell all kinds of stationery. And then, so this is embossed. More map, love the colors in that map. More of the book page, privacy envelope, and school notebook paper, and then White Rabbit, which got really dirty when I was staining, so he's no longer really white. This is some more of that snippet roll. This says cheer up, and it is a old bottle label. Main Street USA from Walt Disney World at the Magic Kingdom. An old map of London, and then it has somebody Tennessee. This is from a tea service, how to have a tea party. So tea for 3 or 4, and I thought that was kind of cute. And then I found this, like this reminded me of the Queen chair, so I tucked that in. That was from an old book that I got in London. Some piano roll. This is die cuts with a view paper. In here, I just put some starter cards for her that she could alter, add to, or whatever. And then this I'm sending to her. It was some kind of survey sheet. It's not pattern paper. It's more like tracing paper, but it's just, it's beautiful. And then I know she went to Paris, and this set has Paris on it, so, and Le Mans, and so I'm sending her that. I think it's a topographical thing or something, I'm not really sure. This is just a big giant empty bag, but I thought she could alter it. And then the other side of the piano paper, which is falling out, sadly. I'm gonna have to put some tape there. I made this altered paper clip out of a coin envelope. This pulls out, says, say yes to new adventures. Adventure awaits you. Those are little Tim Holtz chatter pieces. This is a teapot from, I think, the Italian Museum. And an Italian museum, a slide, and then I have this antique set of children's book stamps that they used to use in school, and it had a bunny, so yeah, put that there. This is out of the book page. I made a little booklet for her, advice from Caterpillar, and then I put in some dot matrix paper. The inside is just pink inside of that, and it's got some Asian paper, dictionary paper, and then yeah. So anyway, a little booklet. She can tear it up and use it how she wants. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to just send her this empty journal, which I probably should have, but anyway, she can pull all this stuff out if she wants to, because it's kind of chunky. So this is a little collage I did on or I had on I think somebody gifted this on a card or something, or put it on a tag. So I re-gifted it and put it in here because it's actually from London. And then this is a queen bee. This is an antique queen bee sack for teas, and I put that in here from Boston. Patch of some vintage mushrooms or toadstools. And then this is the back side of the policy envelope, and then I just put a little card in there that she could do. There's the book page and the map, and this is the other book page, and it flips out. And then this is an altered playing card that I made her, and that just holds this like kind of open. This is the other side. There is the Alice sleeping. So she's hidden in there. And then it says, off with his head, the queen bald. And I took the image out of this book. And then this side has Alice glanced rather anxiously because the Cheshire Cat member would appear and disappear. So, and then I hung a little chair charm on there. Altered paper clip. Oop, and on the back side of the paper clip, I had this Pan Am old invoice. And then I had, this came off a Trader Joe's bag. They've got really cool images on the Trader Joe's bag if you haven't noticed. But they do. And then I made a crepe paper little edge there. Okay, that's the second one, last insert, and I put plenty of space in between. I think there's like a ½ inch in between. I made this little Mad Hatter rosette, and I put it on here. It says, the miserable Hatter dropped his teacup. And he was kind of running with his teacup. And then this is border from that antique wallpaper book, and then a bingo sheet. This is one of my favorite maps, such a lovely color, but it has England in it. So, and this is a flashcard that says cup. And then I made a little flap right here, and it says, was a soldier brave and bold, because I don't know if you remember that she went off on a ship. It was a ship captain, not a soldier, but a captain. Okay, then I put this, I inked some of this ribbon. It's ruler ribbon. There's a blue butterfly, and then I did this stencil. I stenciled that because it's like, which way to go? Up, down, sideways. This is some bakery paper. Chair with the teapot and old. And see, I did the 6/10, so I don't know what it is. But anyway, so there's 6s and 7s in here with 10s. And then some tags. And this is a joke between us. So it's friends are like purses that you upcycle into journals, because I got her hooked on recently upcycling some purses into journals, because I do that. Old leather purses. Ledger. I dyed that trim and the tag. This says adventure. This is Alice in Wonderland. This is some old music paper, and I stamped it with that antique file stamp. And then this is the inside, and I gave her this from 1912, from January. A few sheets out of this memo thing that they wrote on. And then I put in some of this old, I got some Seven Gypsies tissue paper, decoupage tissue paper that I thought had chairs and chandeliers. So I thought, oh my gosh, that's gonna be perfect for Alice. And then it has those. Really cool. I'm letting it go. I've been hoarding it all these years. They're not even around anymore, I don't think. Okay, then I found this in that same book that I got that chair out of. It's a mirror. Mama's done. And some other like starter cards that I did. This is the reluctant heiress. Remember, she said no when he asked her to marry him. This says she helped herself to some tea, and I have this Bigelow tea, and it says something special is brewing. So I thought that was super cute, and I just stapled that in and had it hanging. And then these are the back sides of that paper. I put in a couple of old receipts that I had, and more paper. And then I have this Alice stamp with the bunny and the clock and the drink me, and she's sitting in the teacup. There's nothing in here, she's an envelope. And then, but I did do a little tuck, and I did some transfer on tape and stuck that in there. And then this I just coffee dyed, and that's that pink. I did a flip. I kind of put some ideas in here for her. She doesn't do a whole lot of junk journaling, so I just started and these were out of 2 envelopes, like junk mail envelopes, and then I used these little yo-yos, and then I made the cards so she can write on those if she wants, or put a picture or ephemera or whatever. So that is that one. It's hard to get in there. There we go. Tuck him in. And then I just decoupaged and I did, or collaged, and I did the same thing here. This was a flashcard that just fit in there. Okay, and then I folded it over, and I folded the two in two different heights. I stenciled down here, and then on the back side I did this, and then each one of these has a little pocket. So this is an Alice in Wonderland card that I had as a Disney set, and I put that on there. And then I have this little tab that pulls out from a yearbook. I just punched that out and made him a tab. And then this was some kind of pocket that I had. I don't even know what for, but I thought she could use it. And then I did a tuck spot back here, and I hand dyed 2 more tags for her to use. This was something I hoarded, and I forgot. Anna Griffin paper that I've hoarded for 2 decades. And I thought with the flowers and the garden and all that stuff, I put that there. Alice, and then here's United Kingdom. And then that is the back page of some avocado dyed. And then I put this pocket in the back from an old linen that I had and some old lace, crochet lace. And I stamped this. It says, every possibility begins with the courage to imagine. It's a Tim Holtz stamp. And then I put in a book, library book pocket. And then these were old, I don't even know what these were, computer cards, but I thought they were kind of fun for her to use. And so I tucked them in the back. And then that is the back of the book. Let me tell you, this technique right here, I went ahead, I don't even know if I did it right, but I went ahead and tried it because I just thought it was a cool technique that Luise did. I don't even know if I did it the same way, but anyway, yeah, I did all little kind of squares, and that was quite tedious, and I would only do this for a good friend, just saying. But look how chunky that is. I don't even know. She's gonna have to take stuff out because she's not gonna be able to make anything for dephemerember or put any of her own stuff in there. So but I hope she likes it. I had fun making it. It really pushed me to make this because this is so not me. I'm not like shabby chic, and I'm not grungy at all. So I don't know how grungy this would be considered, but maybe kind of clean grungy if that's a thing. But yeah, so anyway, I hope she loves it. I had fun making it. Let's see, I'm gonna, yeah. I had a lot of fun making it, and anyway, so I hope you follow along. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to show. A couple other things that I had was some avocado lace I dyed. I'm going to package it up and then package up the journal and then wrap it in this, and then wrap it with some this is Tim Holtz fabric. It had the London thing on it, so that's why I was using that. And I had one of these, the Cheshire Cat. I forget what they're called. They came from, Disney makes them, and I got this actually while I was at Disney. It's a keychain, so I'm gonna put that in her Happy Mail. I got a couple of my favorite teas, Lemon Lift and the Darjeeling. And then I had a vintage record, and it said It's About Time, and it has these cute, this is more a nod to me, this is more me. But I'm gonna put this on the outside of the box because I thought that'd be a cute decoration, because it's about time your journal gets to you. But I haven't gotten hers either, and we were talking about that, so it's funny. No pressure. And then I put the Mad Hatter on the clock, so this was on the back of it, and it had this little thing that you could like tell time with, so I made it. And then anyway, so it's kind of interactive. So I'm gonna put this on the inside of the box, and this will be on the outside of the box. And then some other things I'm sending her is she likes to crochet, and I found some things that she could crochet, the little dog coats, because I told you she does animal rescue, and she loves these. She loves cats and dogs and whatever, and I found this old book, and anyway, I thought she'd love this, teacups, so she can use that however she wants to. I don't even know what year this is. It's a Whitman. Oh, this is 1943. So anyway, it's a Whitman book. And then I'm sending her scraps. So I made this envelope and I used scrap letter alphas that I had left, and I already glued it shut or I'd open it. But it's all the stuff that I used on her journal, just left over. So I put that in there. And that is it, people. So I'm hoping that she loves her journal. I've never done an Alice in Wonderland themed journal. I don't know how much Alice in Wonderland themed it is, but hey, I did my best. And that's all I can do. So thanks guys, and I'll be back with some other things because I've got some things in the works, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Preppy craft girl, living in her crafty world. She loves creating junk journals, surrounded with vintage things and wallpaper scraps, vintage magazines, and she's just giddy with glue sticks and golden scissors in her hand. But most of all, she's happy when she's crafting with her friends. Preppy girl in her mattress plaid, vintage vibe style never goes bad. Scissors snip, glue it down with grace, junk journal stack filling up her space. Scrap of paper drive her mad, vintage treasures never sad. Wallpaper peeling, stories inside, crafty girl on a retro ride. On her clothes, creating magic everybody knows. Old magazines, cut and paste, in a world nothing goes to waste. Boxes full of memories, so fun, vintage finds she never ignored. Scrap pile, her gold mine, every cut a design divine. Glue stick in one hand tight, crafty queen up all night. Pages turn, a history unfolds in a journal, life's tales told. Come join in on the fun and grab your glue gun. It's the Preppy Crafty Girl Show. Welcome to the Preppy Crafty Girl Show.